Every Amish woman's life journey is written in the bonnets she wears, from childhood freedom to married responsibility to elderly wisdom. These head coverings chronicle transformation, tradition, and identity in ways the outside world never suspects. Bareheaded beginning. Childhood in Amish communities begins with remarkable freedom that outsiders rarely witness. Young girls enjoy bare heads or simple caps, representing innocence and protection from the community expectations that will soon govern their lives. This bareheaded period allows natural childhood expression while gradually introducing them to community values. During these early years, girls observe their mothers and older sisters wearing bonnets, absorbing the visual language they'll soon speak themselves. The contrast between their freedom and the covered heads around them creates anticipation for their own transition to womanhood. First head coverings. The transition to adolescence brings the first significant change in head covering traditions that marks a girl's journey toward adulthood. During Rumspringa years, typically beginning around age 16, teenage girls receive their first proper head coverings. These small, simple coverings represent the beginning of preparation for adult responsibilities and community membership. Parents guide this transition carefully, explaining the spiritual significance behind modest dress while allowing daughters to adjust gradually to new expectations. The first head covering ceremony often occurs during family gatherings, with mothers passing down both practical knowledge and spiritual understanding. This milestone creates excitement and nervousness as girls recognize their approaching adulthood and the responsibilities it brings within their traditional community structure. White bonnet years and purity. The white bonnet period represents one of the most significant phases in an Amish woman's life, symbolizing purity, potential, and preparation for marriage. Unmarried women wear white bonnets that communicate their availability for courtship while maintaining appropriate modesty during community social events. The pristine white color symbolizes spiritual purity and the unmarked slate of young womanhood preparing for life's major decisions. These bonnets feature specific construction details that distinguish them from married women's head coverings. The white fabric requires careful maintenance, teaching young women responsibility while representing their spiritual state. Community members immediately recognize white bonnet wearers as eligible for marriage consideration, creating subtle social dynamics during church services and community gatherings. The white bonnet years often last from late teens through early 20s, representing hope, anticipation, and careful preparation for the next major life transition. Courtship communication. During courtship periods, subtle bonnet modifications communicate changing relationship status while maintaining traditional modesty standards that govern Amish romantic development. White bonnets during serious courtship take on additional significance as families observe potential matches and evaluate compatibility. Young women may receive new bonnets from their mothers as relationships develop, representing family approval and preparation for possible marriage. The care taken in bonnet maintenance during courtship reflects a woman's preparation for household management responsibilities. Perfectly maintained white bonnets demonstrate domestic skills that families evaluate when considering potential daughters-in-law. Community members watch bonnet presentations during church services and social gatherings, noting changes in style or condition that might indicate developing relationships. Parents often coordinate bonnet improvements with courtship progression, ensuring daughters represent their families appropriately. These subtle communications occur without direct conversation, allowing courtship to develop within traditional frameworks while maintaining appropriate family oversight and community involvement in relationship development. The marriage transformation. Marriage brings the most dramatic bonnet transformation in an Amish woman's life, marking her transition from maiden to wife through immediate visual change that announces her new status to the entire community. Wedding ceremonies culminate with the bride's first black bonnet, replacing the white covering that defined her unmarried years. This color change symbolizes settled status, spiritual maturity, and focus on family duties rather than personal attention or courtship activities. The black bonnet represents commitment, responsibility, and the spiritual transformation that accompanies marriage within traditional community frameworks. New wives often receive multiple black bonnets as wedding gifts, establishing their wardrobe for married life. Community recognition of the color change creates immediate social adjustment as married women assume different responsibilities and social positions. The psychological impact of the bonnet change helps new wives embrace their altered roles while maintaining connection to community traditions. This transformation occurs overnight, creating a clear demarcation between life stages while providing visual confirmation of the marriage commitment to extended family and community members who will support the new household. Regional bonnet variations. Amish communities across different regions have developed distinct bonnet traditions that immediately identify a woman's community origins while preserving shared cultural values and modesty principles. Pennsylvania Dutch communities maintain specific construction details, brim shapes, and tie arrangements that distinguish their women from other Amish groups during inter-community visits and social events. These regional signatures reflect local interpretations of traditional dress codes while maintaining core spiritual principles. Ohio settlements feature different bonnet styles with unique fabric choices and construction methods that reflect their community's particular decisions about appropriate dress. Indiana districts preserve their own bonnet traditions that distinguish their interpretation of modesty requirements from neighboring communities. Midwestern communities have adapted traditional bonnet designs to local climate conditions while preserving essential cultural elements that connect them to Eastern settlements. Western Amish groups maintain bonnet traditions that reflect their pioneer heritage while adapting to different environmental conditions. These regional variations preserve local traditions while maintaining broader Amish identity through shared principles of modesty, simplicity, and spiritual devotion. Women traveling between communities are immediately recognized by their bonnet styles, creating instant cultural identification and community connection during visits. Seasonal bonnet calendars. Amish women follow carefully established seasonal bonnet patterns that balance practical weather needs with traditional requirements, creating annual cycles that connect individual choices to community rhythms. Spring transitions mark community-wide changes from heavy winter bonnets to lighter materials, coinciding with renewed agricultural activity and increased social interaction between families and districts. These seasonal shifts require careful timing to maintain community unity while meeting practical needs. Summer adaptations balance comfort with modesty requirements during intensive outdoor work periods. Lighter fabrics and modified construction provide relief from heat while preserving traditional appearance standards that maintain community identity and spiritual significance. Fall preparations signal return to heavier bonnets that provide protection during harvest activities and preparation for winter isolation. These changes align with agricultural cycles that govern community life and family responsibilities throughout the year. Winter bonnets provide maximum protection during harsh weather while maintaining traditional styling that preserves cultural authenticity. Heavy fabrics and careful construction ensure durability during months of indoor activities and limited social interaction. Material transitions throughout the year maintain tradition while meeting practical needs for different weather conditions, work requirements, and community activities that define annual community life patterns and spiritual observances that guide Amish lifestyle choices. Work versus worship bonnet distinctions. Amish women maintain separate bonnets for daily work and Sunday worship, creating practical distinctions that reflect different aspects of community life while preserving traditional values and appearance standards. Daily work bonnets prioritize durability, comfort, and protection during farm labor, household duties, and outdoor activities while maintaining modesty requirements that define community identity. These bonnets withstand physical demands of agricultural life while preserving appropriate appearance. Construction differences between work and worship bonnets reflect practical priorities and economic considerations. Work bonnets use sturdy fabrics and reinforced stitching designed to withstand daily use, while worship bonnets feature finer materials reserved for special occasions. Sunday worship bonnets represent a woman's finest head covering, featuring superior materials, careful construction, and traditional styling that demonstrates respect for religious observance and community gatherings. These bonnets reflect family economic status and personal craftsmanship skills. Special occasion bonnets are reserved for weddings, funerals, and important community events, representing maximum effort in construction and materials. These bonnets often become family heirlooms passed between generations. The distinction between work and worship bonnets teaches practical resource management while maintaining appropriate appearance standards for different social contexts. Women learn to balance economy with tradition, preserving finest bonnets for significant occasions while ensuring daily bonnets meet practical needs for active community participation and family responsibilities. Age and authority. Amish bonnet styles evolve throughout a woman's life to reflect increasing community authority, spiritual wisdom, and leadership responsibilities as she matures within traditional gender roles and community expectations. Young adult bonnets balance modesty requirements with practical work needs, allowing sufficient peripheral vision and comfortable movement during active participation in family labor and community activities. These styles reflect energetic involvement in community life while maintaining appropriate appearance standards. Middle-aged women's bonnets reflect increased community responsibilities and spiritual development through more conservative styling and larger coverage areas. These modifications acknowledge growing wisdom and authority within family structures and community decision-making processes. Elder women wear bonnets with maximum coverage that command respect and reflect their role as wisdom keepers, tradition preservers, and spiritual guides for younger community members seeking guidance about life decisions and cultural practices. Bonnet size progression creates visual hierarchy that reinforces community respect patterns and acknowledges accumulated wisdom through lived experience. Larger bonnets indicate greater spiritual maturity and community authority within appropriate gender roles. The evolution from small to large bonnets throughout a woman's lifetime creates anticipation and recognition of growing responsibilities. Community members automatically adjust their interactions based on bonnet observations, showing appropriate deference to elder women while encouraging younger women in their spiritual development. This age-related progression maintains community stability by clearly identifying sources of wisdom and authority while encouraging spiritual growth through visible life stage recognition. Construction skills. Bonnet making represents one of the most important skill transfers between generations, creating opportunities for cultural preservation while strengthening family bonds through shared creative activity and traditional knowledge transmission. Mother-daughter bonnet-making sessions provide intensive one-on-one instruction that goes far beyond simple sewing techniques. These experiences transmit cultural values, family traditions, and community standards while developing practical skills essential for adult life within traditional frameworks. Fabric selection requires extensive knowledge about appropriate materials, seasonal considerations, and community standards that maintain cultural authenticity while meeting practical needs. Mothers teach daughters to evaluate fabric quality, color appropriateness, and durability requirements for different bonnet purposes. Construction techniques involve precise measurements, traditional stitching patterns, and finishing methods that have remained unchanged for generations. These skills require patience, attention to detail, and commitment to quality that reflects broader community values about craftsmanship and personal responsibility. Pattern knowledge passes through families as closely guarded traditions that maintain community identity while allowing subtle individual expression within accepted boundaries. Each family preserves specific construction details that create recognizable styles within broader community standards. Quality control standards ensure bonnets represent families appropriately within community contexts while meeting practical durability requirements for daily use and special occasions. Mothers teach daughters to evaluate their work critically and maintain high standards. The bonnet-making process creates bonding opportunities that strengthen intergenerational relationships while preserving essential cultural knowledge. These shared experiences build confidence, develop patience, and transmit values that extend far beyond simple sewing skills into broader life preparation. Motherhood and bonnet. Motherhood brings new bonnet responsibilities as women balance personal appearance standards with the practical demands of child rearing while maintaining community expectations and family representation. New mothers learn to maintain bonnet presentation despite sleepless nights, constant childcare demands, and limited personal time for grooming and appearance maintenance. This challenge requires efficient morning routines and simplified bonnet styles that preserve tradition while accommodating practical realities. Child safety considerations influence bonnet design choices as mothers select styles that allow constant visual monitoring of active children while maintaining traditional coverage requirements. Practical modifications ensure bonnets don't interfere with childcare activities while preserving community standards. Teaching children proper respect for bonnet traditions becomes a maternal responsibility that extends cultural preservation to the next generation. Mothers demonstrate appropriate bonnet care, explain spiritual significance, and model respectful behavior toward women wearing different bonnet styles. Economic pressures of growing families affect bonnet priorities as mothers balance personal appearance needs with children's clothing requirements and household expenses. Practical bonnet maintenance skills become essential for extending bonnet life while maintaining appropriate appearance. Family representation through bonnet presentation reflects on husbands and children as community members observe maternal appearance and draw conclusions about family stability, spiritual commitment, and cultural adherence. This responsibility creates pressure while reinforcing community standards. Balancing tradition with practicality becomes an ongoing challenge as mothers navigate changing family needs while preserving cultural authenticity. Successful adaptation requires creativity, flexibility, and strong commitment to community values that extend beyond personal convenience. The motherhood bonnet experience teaches resource management, priority setting, and cultural transmission skills that prepare women for broader community leadership roles as they mature within traditional frameworks. Amish bonnets serve as living chronicles of women's lives, preserving centuries of wisdom, tradition, and community identity through simple yet sophisticated head coverings. These garments connect generations while navigating modern challenges with grace and determination. Curious about more hidden aspects of Amish culture? Subscribe to uncover fascinating traditions in America's most enduring community.